Joe Hopkins here, and welcome to another episode of Joe Likes Beer. It is the only show on YouTube where Joe, me, drinks beer. And today, I'm going to share my thoughts with you while drinking a Left Hand Brewing Company Peanut Butter Milk Stout. From our hand to yours. 6.2% alcohol by volume. 25 bus? What the hell does that mean? All right, brewed on the banks of the mighty St. Vrain Left Hand Brewing Company. All right, we're going to give this a try. I'm going to give you my thoughts about AI, I think. I think we talk about AI today. It's been a subject that I've been dealing with lately. That's good. Smells good. It tastes good. That tastes like a peanut butter cup that'll get you drunk. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, so AI, specifically ChatGPT, has been on my mind lately. And why is that, you might ask? Well, you see, my wife is a writer, and she was very mad at ChatGPT for quite some time because it has been affecting her work. You see, a lot of places that used to hire people who write articles now want to pay for ChatGPT Pro and just have it do all of it, right? But then other places demand a real person, and you think that would be a good thing. My wife should be able to get work from the people that demand a real person. But a lot of writing agencies employ AI detection. Now, you'd think that shouldn't be a problem. My wife doesn't use AI. She's a real person. But AI detection is not very good. It's just not. It's wrong over 70% of the time. And it keeps flagging her as AI. So she hates ChatGPT until she learns something. You can use ChatGPT in some unintended ways. For instance, to analyze writing. Now, why would that matter? Well, my wife is not so emotionally or socially able. She is not good at that kind of stuff, but she can put writing into ChatGPT and ask it to analyze that writing for several things. One, for emotional content. Now, what's interesting is my wife writes a lot about domestic abuse, social red flags, how to tell if the person you're dating is a psychopath, that kind of stuff. She's been writing on this subject for a while. And apparently ChatGPT is surprisingly good at telling if something was written by a psycho, I guess. And it can tell if the person is being dishonest, which is, it's interesting, you know? My wife ran her own work through it, and it determined that her work is very genuine, open, and honest. Mostly because she's not a very good liar. She doesn't know what people want to hear. So, is that a good thing, really? Yeah. I guess people say they want honesty. I've seen it firsthand with my wife. They get mad at her because she doesn't really know how to lie in that way. She can lie, she just doesn't lie like that. And so she's been running all this stuff through ChatGPT, testing it out, having it analyze things, and apparently it can do that. It can tell you if the person is being dishonest, It could tell you from personal correspondence or from articles, It can tell you the emotional content. It can tell you all kinds of stuff, apparently. I haven't tried it. I find that interesting, though. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't have thought of it. I wouldn't have thought of trying that, but I'm not terribly surprised that it will do that. Which makes me think that I don't believe I'm ever going to put anything in writing ever again. Ever again. Not unless I absolutely have to. And it's not because I'm worried about my wife analyzing it, but if she can, other people can too. I really don't feel like being psychoanalyzed by a computer. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But see, that's the gist I'm getting to here. We're getting to the point here where you can be psychoanalyzed by a computer from what you write down. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm a little skeptical, and I think this tasted pretty good initially. The aftertaste is a little weird. Anyway, I'll keep drinking it though. So yeah, AI. It makes me reluctant to write things. Because then people, what if they get things wrong? The truth is, I could be lying to you, but am I doing it on purpose? Or do I think I'm telling the truth? I asked my wife that. Apparently, it can also tell you if the person is being intentionally deceptive or if they're just wrong, I guess. Or it tells you if they're being deceptive. I guess you could fool it if you thought you were right. I'm wondering, can AI tell context? Can it proof text what you're talking about? Can it tell this person thinks they're telling the truth, but they're not? That's an interesting question. Personally, I think the most interesting things that AI does are things it was not intended to do, but does anyway. I think that it's like that with most technologies. Most technologies get more interesting when you abuse them, when you use them for unintended purposes in ways they were not meant to be used. That's where it gets interesting. I think synthesizers were very quickly used in ways they were not intended. I know for a fact when I'm doing music, I try to use plugins, like any plugin. I try them out in ways that they weren't meant to be used, just to see what happens, and with some interesting results. I think AI is going to be the same way, where people are going to abuse it, and that's where it's going to get interesting. Yeah, this is less good the further into it you get. Let's see. Rich milk chocolate notes team up with peanut buttery perfection for a deliciously dark duo. I mean, still okay, but it tasted really good, and now it doesn't so much. There we go. That was okay at the end. Started out pretty good. Tasted pretty good initially. Some brews are like that. So, are the computers taking over the world? And what are the computers going to tell people about you? I'm kind of wondering where that's going to go, to be honest with you. At some point, when you go in for a job interview, is your prospective employer going to be running your stuff through AI? Are they going to be asking the AI, is this person telling the truth? Is this person being honest? Are they going to ask the AI about things? And I wonder about that because most of the questions, or a lot of the questions asked you in job interviews are dumb. Really dumb. At least with the corporate world. They are. Job interviews with construction boil down to, can you do this job? And are you going to show up every day? That's pretty much it. But will the corporate world start wanting to use AI? Because you know how they like to use new stuff. Because their questions are dumb, and they should know you're lying to them. Because You know what I mean? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What kind of ambitions do you have? Stuff like that. No, it's dumb. You just want a job to pay your bills, you know? You're not, yeah, that's about it. But are they going to start holding it against you when AI says, oh, they're not being honest? Or will AI tell them, your questions are dumb? But anyway, there we go. That's my thoughts on that. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Love y'all. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.